Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Sunday, 31st of May, and as I said, I would like to go through the presentation I made about volume profiles for everyone who asked any questions about volume profiles. Um, so we can have this recorded, and you can always go back and check it out. Uh, for the beginning, we have to understand that what is volume profile? Volume profile is showing us the volume at the specific price level, right? If you compare it to a regular volume that it's on the bottom of the chart, um, the difference is that the lower volume here, it shows us the volume at certain time of a day or week, and the volume profile shows us the amount of volume that was traded at a certain price. That can help you help us mark the horizontal areas on the chart, and especially if we have some other confluences like market structure, support resistances, supports and resistances. We can mark those area and see what the price does on at those levels. Um, key key areas at the volume profile. Our key zones are, of course, value area high and value area low. Then we have the point of control and the highest traded volume, like area where the highest volume was traded. Then we have high volume nodes and low volume nodes. Um, High volume nodes are very similar to the point of control, with the exception that point of control has more volume than the regular high volume node. Then we have those value area highs and lows. Those mark the boundaries of that of the most significant amount of volume that was traded. And you can hear me often say that if we reclaim this value area low, then we could go to point of control or the value area high. I will show you some examples a little bit later. Um, but those are the key levels, the key areas on volume profile. Um, it looks like this, right? Mine are marked red for the value areas and white point of control, but you can mark it any color, right? Doesn't matter. But as you can see, point of control here is the highest the highest volume in this whole um, volume profile. Most significant area will be in between those two red lines, in between the value areas, and then you have also high volume nodes outside of those areas, and you have low volume zones like this value area low is sitting in the middle, almost in the middle of the low volume zone, and you can see that when the price came here, it filled the low volume zone and bounced from this higher spike and came back up. Next, I want to tell you a few different volume profiles that we have that you can use on TradingView. Everything is based on the same thing, so everything will show you all these volume profiles will show you the same thing. Um, it's- you can maybe just use them um, a little bit differently, but it's uh, all the same thing. So we first, the one that I use the most is fixed range volume profile, or FRVP. It looks like this in TradingView, and you can find it on the left side under the tools. It's not an indicator. This is a tool. And as it says here, measures the volume distribution over a selected period, highlighting price levels where trading activity is concentrated. So you have to manually mark the area um, of which you want to measure the volume profile. I like to use that on uptrends or downtrends, uptrends, downtrends, and ranges, and I will also use it for the week or month or quarter. Although for weekly and quarters you can use the other one, but I prefer the fixed one. Then we have session volume profile or SVP. This one will be more popular for day trading or yeah, intraday day trading. It's not that important for longer term positions. And session volume profile represents the volume trading during specific trading sessions. You can set it in the settings that it highlights the only New York session or only Asia session. I usually set it up just for the day, so it shows me the volume of the day. And that one you can find in the indicators, and it's called session volume profile. And it looks something like this. Again, those are my settings here. You can extend the POC or the value areas to the right. So every untouched point of control will be extended to the right, and those are also called naked point of controls. I use that one on a weekly time frame. So when I mark the weekly volume profiles, then I have those point of control extended to the right. And you can see here sessions, I have marked all, so the whole session from the market open on my time midnight, so afternoon EST, until the close. But you can, as I already said, you can adjust it here. So for every session, if you want to use it like that. Then we have periodic volume profile PVP. That one measures the volume distribution over weeks, months, and quarters, helping traders to identify long-term value zones. This one I use for example, weekly. These are my settings. So I have period of one and then marked week. And here for somebody has a hot mic, let me just fix this quickly. Okay. Okay. As you can see here, this is the same. This is a 4 hour time frame. Here it was 30 minutes on SVP, so this was a daily volume profiles. Here it's the 4 hour, and this marks the whole week. And you can see here, for example, this weekly point of control 2 weeks after it acted as a support and the price bounced up. Then you have visible range analysis. Okay, that's a type failure. I'm sorry. Visible range volume profile or VRVP. Again, provides the view of volume distribution based on the currently visible chart area. So how when you move on the chart, the volume profile will move and calculate the volume profile based on the chart, based on the candles that are visible on the chart. Like this. This is the same day. So this area on 5 minute is this here, right? So the volume profile shows you just the volume profile of those candles. And if you zoom out, you can see a wider picture, and the volume profile will show you the picture of all of those candles that are on the chart. But again, everything the same. High volume nodes, HVN, HVN, high volume node, value area high, point of control here, low volume zone here, and the value area low. And then we have anchored volume profile. Again, you can anchor the volume profile on. It says like on major lows, highs, or news. Uh, I would usually use it for when we have a new week. I can anchor it on the new week, not new week, new month. I can anchor it on the month and follow how the profile develops over the month. I will still use my fixed range volume profile and probably SVP, so I can adjust it easier. But this anchored one can show you you can anchor it once and then you don't have to worry about adjusting it. Only thing you have to pay attention to is that when the month is over, you should um, you should anchor it again on a new month or a new week or however you use it, right? Um, so it starts again because if you don't do it, then it will just continue and it will measure the volume with the current day because it measures the volume from the anchored point to the present. It doesn't stop. Like for example, fixed or session volume profile, it always has the beginning and the end. This one you just anchor it, you say where you want to start, that's it. Let's go through some real market examples. I found four here, like a breakout, rejection, continuation, and confluence. Confluence, we still have to see what will happen there. I marked it on the SPY chart and we'll see. Um, but breakout. So for example, we had a breakout on NQ here. Uh, um, and one more thing before I continue with real market examples, you have to know that this is just a tool. So this volume profile should be secondary. Um, First, what you want to look is price action and market structure, right? So here we obviously had a range, very choppy range, with not clear highs or the lows. So I pulled the fixed range volume profile starting from this candle here all the way to this low candle. And we can see that already here, this small candle, or next one here, before the breakout, we had a big volume accumulation. So in this scenario, we have to combine volume profile with regular volume because this um, might have been the same as those two moves when we just tapped the highs and retraced back. But you can see that here and here the volume was coming down actually. And once we broke out with the volume, we just went through. So for example, if you saw a breakout with a high volume, you can enter along, you can put the stop loss below the low and I would probably aim for these highs here, not for all these highs, but at least TP1 would be somewhere around the first previous highs before the range. Um, After that, we have a rejection example. For example, we had here, I marked the downtrend um, volume profile from the high to the low, and we had the value area high here. So we came up once we reclaimed, sort of reclaimed the value area. This was not very clean reclaim, uh, but eventually we came higher. We tapped the value area high of that volume profile twice. We rejected, came down, filled the low volume zone here, once and then twice, and then we finally broke out from the value area high and continued higher. Mm, This is a very nice example where you can see that the value area high can be a zone. It's not a level, although it says it's here 29,385.75, right? But it will be a zone. It's not a level. It's a zone. Look at it at the zone, as the zone. And once you reclaim that, then uh, you can again look for some longs or calls. This is now NQ chart, but it can be any other chart. can be SPY, it can be any other stock. And then we have continuation trade. This is the same setup as the breakout. Same chart, same thing, same volume profile here. So we had here the breakout with the high volume, right? We took the highs. Now, once we came down, we had a 5-minute fair value gap here, which is less. I mean, it's a nice confluence. I'm not a big fair value gap trader, but it's a nice confluence. And we had this value area high of the range that we just broke out from. We rejected that and bounced higher again. Again, with some bigger volume. It was not as big as at the breakout, but it was bigger, more volume than at the top of this move. So again, another nice confluence here, and you would enter above this fair value gap, stop loss below it, and you would aim for previous highs because you are following the market structure. You can, of course, take profits at 1-to-1, 2-to-1 first TP, and then let the runner go with putting your stop loss to break even or not, or however you prefer. But from technical point of view, this was a breakout, retest, and continuation higher. And then we have one confluence here. For example, for this one, I use the anchored VWAP and anchored volume profile. And I anchor them at the same place. Here at these lows, this is around 716 on SPY. If you anchor the VWAP and the volume profile, you can see that point of control and the VWAP are at the similar zone, similar place, around 736, 737. So I said here, expect a reaction from the zone where POC and anchored VWAP are close together. I marked the zone on the chart, and I'm curious to see what will happen. I don't know. This is something that still haven't played out, so I will be monitoring it and just to see what will actually happen. But the point of this picture is that you always have to find at least 2 or 3 confluences with market structure, with volume profile, maybe VWAP or whatever else you are using, right? So you cannot use only volume profile as a reference to enter a trade. It wouldn't last long. As I just said, these are a few common mistakes that we can make. Overusing the profiles, relying too heavily on volume profiles in noisy markets can lead to misleading signals, causing traders to misinterpret price action and make poor decisions. As I said, if you rely too heavily on this thing, you won't you just won't make it. That the trades won't play out the way you want them. Especially is not in noisy or choppy markets. Then if you ignore the context, again, focusing solely on volume profile without considering the broader market context may result in overlooking essential factors that influence price movements and market behavior. And then misinterpreting areas, misunderstanding of low volume areas can lead to incorrect assumptions about market strengths or weaknesses. Again, we have those low volume areas where they are usually revisited and the price likes to react from those levels very quickly, but it doesn't mean that it will happen every single time. So just take a bigger picture always. Take a look at the bigger picture. Don't focus only on those like point of controls or high volume nodes. And as we already said, volume profile can help us understand where the market consider fair value based on traded volume at specific price levels. So not at the time, but at the price levels. High volume areas often act as a support, resistance, and acceptance zones where the market spends the most time. Low volume areas can indicate imbalance and often lead to fast price movement or breakout opportunities. If you just play a little bit with whatever of the volume profiles that we just mentioned, you will see immediately a how the price reacts on certain high volume zones or low volume zones. Then different profile types serve different purposes. You can use a fixed range volume profile for specific ranges and swing analysis. It's manually adjusted. Session profile for intraday trading. And PVP, periodic volume profile for higher time frame. VRVP for dynamic chart analysis. So if you're day trading, scalping, it changes instantly. And anchored profile for event-driven market structure, for example, or beginning of the month, beginning of the quarter, or similar. When you combine with when volume profile is combined with market structure, VWAP liquidity and order flow, it becomes much more powerful than if you use it just as only tool. The goal is not to predict the market, but to identify high probability areas where institutions are active. Again, if you use a bigger time frame and you see a big high volume zone, you have to understand that was not a retail trader, probably that those were institutions buying slowly and accumulating for the next move. Especially on bigger time frames like 4, 6, 8 hours or daily and weekly time frames. Successful traders use volume profile to improve entries, exit risk management, and overall market understanding. So you can, for example, for risk management, it's really good because you can say, okay, if we reclaim some value area low and I want to go long, if we lose this area, that will be my stop loss and my idea will be invalidated. So especially for for all three, for entries, exits, and risk management, but I love it for risk management probably the most, because if you're not sure, okay, shall I put my stop loss below this low or that low, you just take a look where the value area low is or point of control, and you can put your stop loss below that. And that's it. Thank you very much. Remember, successful trading is not about predicting every move. It's about understanding where opportunity exists and managing risk with discipline. Stay patient, trust your process, and let the market come to you. Is there any questions?
Nicholas, I have a question. Thank you.
Yes.
So other than the VRVP, the other ones are all you have to manually put them in, right?
Yes. Let me show you quickly. So for the fixed one, I guess that you already understand because I did it many times. You have to click it. I have it here on favorites, but you can find it in forecasting window on the left in the trading view. You click the fixed range volume profile. You click once where you want to begin. The second time where you want to finish, then it shows up. All right. Then we had on the same window, you can find the anchored volume profile. You have to take the tool and then mark the beginning. Right? You can see here it came out a little bit different looking, but the high volume zones and the low volume zones are the same because we are measuring the same area. Right. So this is fixed. This is anchored. Same thing. It will
And then
look a
when you
little bit.
said you have to make sure that the anchored stays there, what do you do just to save your chart?
Yeah, as long as you don't delete it here in your object tree, it will stay where you put it. Just for
Okay.
example, today's 31st, right? So if I use the anchored one on the 1st of May, today I would probably delete it because I don't want to have it um, going into a new month, right?
Mhm.
Um, So I could maybe anchor it tomorrow or tonight when the market opens. I will anchor it here and I will wait the whole month. I can have it on the chart and pay attention how the volume profile develops.
So the
And Nicholas,
basic difference between them is the time frame then.
Yes, because if so, let's say I have fixed range volume profile here, and I marked the Monday. This was Monday or Sunday actually, beginning of the week, and I ma- I marked the whole week. So this is the volume profile of the week. Let's say we were here on Monday, and I said, okay, I want to pay attention what will happen with the volume profile on Monday, and I mark this, I anchor the volume profile here. Through the week, I can look at it, but I don't want to see the combined volume profile of this week and the next week, because as the market opens and the week goes on, this anchored volume profile will continue with the change. It will continue developing as the time progress, right?
Mhm.
But this fixed range volume profile will stay the same because we marked the beginning and the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I see Mark said here he likes his anchored volume profile drawn daily. So if he's on 30 minutes or lower, you will again, this is MQ. We can go to SPY. I mean, it's the same thing. You just anchor it on the pre-market open, right? Anchored volume profile. When the pre-market starts here, you anchor it and you pay attention. But since I anchored it here on Thursday, now this volume profile is showing me Thursday and Friday all together, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For the anchored profile, you just decide where you want to start measuring, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Mark raised hand. Yeah. Yes, sir.
yeah, that's all I was going to say was on the 30-minute time frame when you do the anchor volume profile, um, turn on the session breaks, and that's where you can use that Jewish strategy that I taught a while back.
Yeah,
And
true.
I found that to be like on point as far as day trading, because if you reconstruct those AVPs daily, you'll be able to see a daily point of control, a daily value area high, and a daily value area low, and
Mm-hmm.
you can wait for breaks from each and every one of those points. So that way you can execute the trade based on the trend of it losing either one of those levels. That helps.
Yep. Yeah. Why do I have not to? Yeah, that's true. And there is also I believe Miss B already knows about this strategy, 80% strategy, where when you have SVP on, oh, do I have it here? I have only one day. I have PVP on day. Okay, that's it. Um, so you have, there are no clear examples on SPY recently because we were going only higher. Mm, yeah. there's nothing clear, but usually when you open outside, um, when you open the day outside of the previous day value area high, and then you close two 30-minute candles inside of the value area high of that previous day, there is 80% chances that you're gonna fill this volume profile area, I mean the value area, and you will probably touch the value area high. It might not happen the same day, but through the next day or 2 days, but that's called 80% strategy. I was using that on Bitcoin, to be honest. I think I haven't even tried that on SPY. Let's see. We are here downtrending, downtrending. I'm not finding anything super clear right now, but that's the idea. Anyway, any more questions? Any other questions about these volume profiles? Oh yes, and settings. This is my fixed range volume profile setting. I use the number of rows and I set it to 200 because I believe the defaults are a little bit more compact, something like this maybe. Yeah, I don't know which numbers are default, but when you have this kind of, I cannot see much here. It's just those. It's how do you call this? The lines are just too thick, so I want to be able to see a little bit more detailed. And I use the same settings for all the other one profiles. And then you have yours on 400, you say. Okay, let's see. It will be, yeah, perfect. It will be just even more detailed. That was, I have two pair of settings. So I keep when I have, so this is number of rows, right? Number of rows. And this is good for me. You can use it even on very small time frames and on bigger time frames. But if I'm, for example, on 30 seconds or let's say 1 minute, I'm using 30 seconds, so don't mind me. But for example, if I take the volume profile here, this is on 1 minute now, and then I made another template here, ticks, where I set ticks per row and only two. And this is much more detailed, even more than those 200 or 400. But problem with that one is if I go to 12 hours and if I want to take a look at this volume profile here of this whole up move, it will never load, right? Because it's just too much data. And then I go back to big picture template, which is again my 200 numbers of row, and then we can see the volume profile. Any more questions, anyone? Okay, then I'm gonna stop this. Thank you guys for listening.